and welcome to Checkpoint. I'm so glad you're here today. Before I begin Checkpoint today, I want to especially appreciate you for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the shares, thank you for subscribing on our YouTube channel. Thank you for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. And because of all you do, our messages are reaching a wider audience. And that is why I want to say thank you, and thank you once again. At this point, I'd like you to begin to invite your friends, your relations, your associates, your neighbors. Let them know that Checkpoint is on right now. I'm waiting for you and I can see you out there. Begin to do it now. All right. Let your friends know, let your relations know, let your associates know, let your neighbors know that Checkpoint is on right now. Share the link everywhere on your social media platforms. Let everyone around you know that Checkpoint is on right now. And we have a very, very important topic that will be shared with you today at Checkpoint. And before I share this topic, I'd like you to take out this moment to invite as many people as you can. Let them know that Checkpoint is on so they can join you. Because at Checkpoint, we educate you, we empower you, and we enlighten you on subjects that really matter in life. And now, I'll be sharing the topic after the break. So please, take out this time, invite everyone, let them get ready because we have something special, something interesting, something empowering and edifying for you today. So please take out the time, invite everyone, and I will be back right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back to Checkpoint. So today on Checkpoint, we have a very interesting topic, and today I'll be sharing with you emotional intelligent questions that can guide you. Emotional intelligent questions that can guide you. If you know me very well, you must have guessed that a day like this will come when I'll have to share on emotional intelligence. There are several topics I love to talk about. I love to talk about God, right? I love to talk about purpose. I love to talk about breaking limiting beliefs about yourself. But another topic I really love to talk about is emotional intelligence. And that's what we're talking about. Emotional intelligence questions that can guide you in the decisions you want to make in life. It can guide you in the relationships that you need to have in life. It can guide you in relating with people. It can guide you in several other aspects of your life. So today, I'll be sharing with you emotional intelligence questions that can guide you. I know you'll be very, very, very enlightened by this topic. And so sit back and relax and keep punching those links and sending to your friends and loved ones because they will be blessed indeed by this topic. Now let's go into the main crux of the matter. Now, throughout life, while growing up, we have seen our parents hammer it into our heads. We as parents are hammering it into the heads of our children why they have to be intelligent, why they have to be intelligent, okay? So we hear parents talk about intelligence quotient. There's this emphasis on being very intelligent or being the first in class of, in fact, someone like me growing up, my mother would beat the hell out of you if you do not come first in class. So she will ask you questions like, the person that came second, the person that came first, does that person have two heads? So why would you come second? So she would not let you rest. So second was not even a nice result in my house when I was growing up. So we grew up with it. We grew up with that challenge. We pushed ourselves to get the best result, and with that we grew up. And then I know in your house that may have been the scenario, or you may be the one practicing that on your children right about now. So there's a lot of emphasis on being intelligent, on getting good grades, on scoring high grades in school. So there is this pressure on intelligence quotient. Another aspect is the spiritual quotient. A lot of parents want their children to draw closer to God. So while growing up, I remember moments when my father had to drum it into our ears while we had to pray. How many number of times we had to pray? Morning devotion was a must every blessed day. Night prayers was mandatory every day. So you see, a lot of parents are dragging their children to church, making sure that they are attending church and that they are loving God and reading their Bible and having their quiet time. So especially in our country, Nigeria, there's a lot of emphasis on the spiritual quotient. So you see parents forcing their children to learn scriptures, memorize scriptures, know more about God, attend Sunday school and the rest of that. So there is this pressure on having what? A high spiritual quotient. And this is very, very obtainable, especially in our country here in Nigeria and in so many other places around the world. So there's this emphasis on intellectual quotient, there's this emphasis on spiritual quotient, but then there is little or no emphasis on emotional quotient. When we talk about emotional quotient, we're talking about the level, the degree to which you are emotionally intelligent. Many parents do not emphasize much on this. And today in this video, I'll be sharing with you emotional intelligence questions that you have to ask that will guide you in your decision making, that will guide you in your relationships, that will guide you in making decisions generally in life. All right, so another quotient is the adversity quotient. But I'm not going to dwell on the adversity quotient today because that's not where I want to focus on. But when we talk about the adversity quotient, we're talking about the degree to which a person can be able to withstand pressure, the degree to which a person can be able to withstand a rough patch in life and come out from that rough patch without being destroyed, without being demoralized, without being depressed. You see, a lot of parents tell their children their success stories, but not many parents tell their children their rough stories, the stories of the sufferings they had to go through, the hardship they had to go through to get to where they are. You know, a lot of people see us and all they see is the glittering and the shiny part, but they don't see the breakdown moments, they don't see the pain moments, they don't see the betrayal moments, they don't see the moments when we are so down and low. And that really happens to everyone. But the main thing is your ability to go through that rough part in life and then come out of it unscattered, come out of this without being destroyed, without being demoralized, without losing your confidence that has a great recompense of reward. So today, I'm not going to talk about the intellectual quotient, I'm not going to talk about the spiritual quotient, I'm not going to talk about the adversity quotient, I'm going to deal on the emotional quotient. So today, I'll be talking to you basically on emotional intelligence. Now, there are 5 basic competencies or characteristics or let's say foundations or structures of emotional intelligence. When we talk about emotional intelligence, there are basic competencies that you have to look out for. What do I mean by competencies? I mean that if you have these things in check, if you have these things working for you, then and only then can you say that you have emotional intelligence. So the first competency of emotional intelligence is what we call self-awareness. When we talk about self-awareness, we're simply trying to say, who are you? All right? What do you represent? What triggers your emotions? Okay? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you who you are? All right? Now we know about temperament, and if you don't know about temperament, you let me know. Now, if you know about temperament, just tell me if you know the 4 basic temperaments that are obtainable. Let me know in the comment section. I want to hear you say it. I want to read that from you. Okay? So we have the cholerics, we have the melancholics, we have the sanguines, and we have the phlegmatics. And these are 4 basic temperaments. Most of us have a combination of these different temperaments. So we have different combinations based on our personality type. Now, the choleric, we know the choleric is driven, vision driven, forceful. They look at a target and they want to hit that target irrespective of whose ox is God, irrespective of who is being dragged along, irrespective of how the people in his or her team is feeling. Now we have the melancholies. They are always withdrawn, always within themselves, but they are very creative, are very talented. Most of them are very good musicians or very good artists. They have very high creative ability, but they thrive in being alone. They get energized when they are alone. Unlike the sanguines are the life of every party. The sanguines are the light in every room, okay? They come in with into any room, mouth first, okay? So you hear them, you can hear them from a distance, coming to an occasion, coming to a room, to a party, coming to your environment. They come into a room mouth first. So they're always talking, they're always excited, they're always smiling, they're always laughing, loud, and the rest of that. Now, for the sanguines, their disadvantage is that they rush to quick conclusions, okay? Because they are very fast, they're very forward, they are very excited, they fluctuate very fast with their emotions. They usually tend to rush to quick conclusions, okay? But then they can make you happy. They can cheer anyone up. They can motivate anyone to become what they really want to be. But then they rush into conclusions so quickly they won't even want to see the whole picture. Now let's talk about the phlegmatics. The phlegmatics are nice, easygoing personalities. They blend in with anyone because they don't want to offend anyone. They have this strength of being able to be pliable, so they can blend with anyone, they can work with anyone, they can become all things to all men. But the challenge they have is that most times, because they're trying to please everyone, most times they end up displeasing themselves, and because of that they may not be able to hit their targets or achieve the things that they really want to achieve for themselves. What led me to all of this? Self-awareness. Know yourself. So let me ask you out there, who are you? What are you? What do you represent? What makes you who you are? All right. Now, it's important that in self-awareness, you understand who you are and what triggers your emotion, who you are and what makes you react in different ways. Because when you know who you are, it will be easy for you to understand how to control who you truly are. So let me ask you, who are you? Who are you? How do you react to issues? Because I'm going to show you 15 questions that will help guide you on your emotions and help you become an emotionally intelligent individual. But first and foremost, you need to know who you are. Who are you? What triggers you? All right. So after self-awareness, the next competency is self-regulation. Self-regulation simply means your ability to manage or control your emotions. Now that you know who you are, it will be easy for you to manage or control your emotions. It will be easy for you to know who you are. It will be easy for you to know what makes you angry and control that thing, so that that thing does not make you angry. That thing does not make you react unnecessarily. That thing does not make you worry or too much. That thing does not make you, the triggers don't make you overreact. All right, and or get into a situation where we call emotional hijack. In emotional hijack, what happens is that your emotions take over. So you know what you should have done, but because you were not in control of your emotions hijacked you and you did things that you did not want to do. How many of you out there, be honest? I myself have been here, I've been on this table several times. How many times have you done something and you were like, why did I even do that? Why did I even have to say that to that person? Why did I even have to react in this particular way? Why did I have to do this? And you begin to regret doing that particular thing. What just happened to you was a temporal emotional hijack. Your emotions took over and you beat somebody up. Your emotions took over and you said terrible words to somebody else. Your emotions took over and you were not in control of your emotions at that very moment. And as a result of that, you did things you are now regretting. That is what happens when you're not able to self-regulate yourself. Now, the third competency of emotional intelligence is what we call motivation. Self-motivation is the ability to help yourself, push yourself, influence yourself to do something that ordinarily you may not want to do. There are many times I've been so tired and stressed out that I'm not able to do my videos, but I motivate myself. I tell myself, why do I have to do what I am doing? In motivation, you ask yourself very intelligent questions. Why are you doing what you are doing? Because if you know that what you are doing is helping somebody else's life, if you know that what you are doing is improving the life of somebody else, you want to do it. So my motivation whenever I come on this screen, whenever the lights are switched on and the cameras are switched on, is to give you something that will help your life forever. Something that will modify, that will help you modify your character. Something that will help you become the best version of yourself. That is what we do here at Checkpoint. Many of you might wonder, why do we even have to, why do we need the name Checkpoint? Well, how many of you know what happens at a checkpoint? When you can't get to a checkpoint, maybe a police checkpoint or something like that, they begin to check your particulars. They begin to check if you are roadworthy, if you have the license to apply on that road. They begin to check the state of your vehicle. Is this vehicle okay to apply on the road? At Checkpoint, what we do is that we give you these suggestions, we give you this information, we give you these words of advice. And what do you do with it? You put them into your life and check if, with this quantity of information, are you capable, are you fit to take on the next stage of your life? Are you fit to declare to your world your uniqueness? Are you okay? Are you qualified? Are you ready to blossom and bless the world with your uniqueness? So that's what we do here at Checkpoint. So in motivation, you have to motivate yourself by asking yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing, and why do I have to continue doing it? Because if you know why you have to continue doing it, then you'll be motivated to do it. How many of you know the Nike logo? The Nike logo says just do it. So in motivation, you have to propel yourself from inwardly. You have to tell yourself, I have to do this because this is affecting life, this is blessing people, this is changing the situations of people. And if you are not emotionally intelligent, you'll be depressed all the time. You'll be looking for reasons why you cannot do a particular thing. If you are not emotionally intelligent, what will happen is that many times the things you have to do, you leave them undone. You have a lot of procrastination, assignments, procrastinated jobs that you've not done, simply because you are not able to bring yourself to that point where you begin to actually do what you really have to do. So in motivation, you push yourself from within, you propel yourself, you encourage yourself to do what you have to do. And not only yourself, you're able to encourage others. You're able to encourage others, because when you are telling some other person, let's do this, let's go get it, let's push this boundary, let's go break new records, you are equally helping the person, you are propelling the person without really compelling the person. You are pushing the person from within to do what the person has got to do. Now, the fourth competency of emotional intelligence is what we call empathy. In empathy, you are having feelings for another person. You are trying to see things from another person's perspective, okay? You are not just insisting on your own perspective to life or your own perspective to a job or assignment. You are trying to see things from another person's perspective, okay? You are trying to feel what the other person is feeling. You are trying to put yourself in the shoes of another person. That's what empathy is all about. And many people who are not emotionally intelligent do not know when to show empathy, when to say, oh, I'm sorry, when to say, oh, get well soon, when to say, oh, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. Honestly, in this world we're in, there are a lot of negativity out there. Terrible things are happening everywhere to people in their lives, in their marriages, in their finances, in their academics, in their careers. Terrible things are happening to people every day. And a word that is empathetic will not hurt. A kind word, a word that is nice, a word to encourage somebody will not hurt you to give. So we have to develop more empathy. Do you know that it is very unfortunate that in this our era and in this our time, when something bad is happening to another person, instead of somebody to give a helping hand, what we do, we pick up our phones and begin to record, because we want to have more likes, we want to have more views, we want to have more followership from another person's tragedy. And that is very, very sad. So emotional intelligence expects you to show empathy, to see things from another person's perspective, to care for some other person. All right. So please look for somebody within these chats. Anybody see their chat and just ask them, how do you do? How are you doing? All right. Just comment on each other's comment. That way you are also showing some level of empathy online right now. All right. So the fifth competency of emotional intelligence is what we call social skills. At a point where you are able to have self-awareness, you know who you are, you know what triggers your emotions, you know who your boundaries and the extent to which you cannot go past. Now you self-regulate. You are able to control your emotions. You are able to tell yourself, no, my emotions don't have me. I have my emotions. My emotions are not going to control me. I'm going to control my emotions. That is the point you begin to self-regulate. You begin to control the emotions that you have. The next point is motivation. That moment when you begin to motivate yourself, you can push yourself inwardly, intrinsically, to do something that you have to do. That is that point where you say you are well motivated. Empathy, when you have been able to see things from other people's perspective, you feel what they feel, you put yourself in their shoes, you try to show them some understanding. If you're able to do all these four, then you'll be able to have the fifth, that is called the social skills. In social skills, all you are able to do is that you're able to relate to people effectively. You're able to relate with people from different foundations, people from different backgrounds, people who have different experiences, people who are coming from different areas in life, on different aspects in life, you're able to relate appropriately with them, understanding that people are different, people are not the same, people have different things that control the way they see life, that people are just a product of their experiences, their genetics, and their perspectives about life and their personality. All right, so when you're able to see this about people, it helps you to know how to relate with them and how to influence them positively towards a particular common goal. So these are the 5 basic competencies of emotional intelligence. We have the self-awareness, we have the self-regulation, we have the motivation, the empathy, and then the 5th, social skills. Now, what is emotional intelligence? I have told you the competency of emotional intelligence. Based on this understanding, what then is emotional intelligence? If emotional intelligence is resting on these 5 competencies, what then is emotional intelligence? Let me share that with you. Are you ready? If you're ready, just let me know. Let me know. Just say I'm ready in the comment section. Just say I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready, and I'll share it right now. Now, emotional intelligence simply means the ability to understand who you are, to recognize your feelings, and to also recognize the feelings in others, and also understand why others are feeling the way they are feeling, and then influence them positively in order to have a good relationship. So to make it simple, emotional intelligence is your ability to understand your emotions, recognize them, and control them, then tune into the feelings of others, recognize their feeling, understand them, and influence them in order to have beautiful relationship, in order to have good and effective relationships. So whenever we talk about emotional intelligence, we are saying that you yourself, you have to recognize, understand, and control your emotions. Then you tune into other people's feelings, recognize what they are feeling, understand why they are feeling the way they are feeling, and then influence them positively in order to have good relationships. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, that's basically all that we are trying to say. Now, can we get to the question part? Yes, because this video is not just on emotional intelligence, it's about emotional intelligence questions that you have to ask yourself that can guide you. So let's shoot. So for the first competency of emotional intelligence, that is the self-awareness, the first question you have to ask yourself is this: what makes you angry or happy? What makes you angry? What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you motivated? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel bad? All right? So you have to recognize what emotion is at work in you. Because when you understand this, it will guide you. It will help you to know what your triggers are. It will help you to avoid those triggers. Because if you find out the triggers that make you sad, what then will happen is that you begin to avoid those triggers. And equally, if you find out the triggers that make you happy, what will you do? You will keep exposing yourself to such triggers because they make you happy. Now let me ask you, what makes you sad? What makes you angry? What makes you happy? I get very happy when people benefit from either my wealth of knowledge or from provisions, things that I have that I can give to them, or I'm able to start a business for them, or I'm able to encourage them in some way, or I give them an advice that works. These are the things that really make me happy. Now, what makes me angry? I get angry when I see people who are not willing to help themselves. They don't even know they need help, and they are not equally willing to accept help from anyone who has the help to offer. So tell me, what makes you angry? Tell me what makes you happy equally. I want to know. Because if you know this, it will help to guide you. It will guide the way you behave. It will guide the way you talk. It will guide the decisions that you make for your own life. The second emotional intelligence question that you have to ask yourself is, if someone accuses you and you are disgraced for it, how would that make you feel? What can you do about it? So maybe someone accuses you, someone tells you something that the person shouldn't tell you, and maybe you get embarrassed by it. What can you do about it? How would that make you feel? So you need to answer this question, because if you know this, you know how to not to put yourself in a tight spot. You know how to not to put yourself in a place where someone has to embarrass you. You try to cover up those grounds so that does not happen to you. So that's another question you have to ask yourself. If someone accuses you and you're embarrassed, what can you do about it? Now, number 3 emotional intelligence question that you have to ask under the self-awareness competency is this. You have to tell me something that will make you very proud. Tell me something. What are you proud of? What are you proud of now, right now in your life? What are you proud of? I'm waiting. I want to read through your comments right now. So let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section right now. What are you proud of? Because when you know what you are proud of, you know what to invest more in. All right. When you know what you are proud of, it will help you to give more attention in that direction so that you can increase it. So what are you proud of? I am really proud of my love for Christ. I get infectious with it, okay? I get very contagious with it. As a matter of fact, I let anyone who meets me anywhere to know that I love Jesus and that my love for Jesus is eternal. Nothing separates me from that love. So I try to make Christianity exciting. I try to make ministry exciting. I try to make serving God exciting the best way I can, because people see a lot of the negative sides, but there are negative sides, I agree, but then there are still the positive sides. The negative sides of the challenges, of the attacks, of the afflictions of the righteous and the rest of that, they do exist, but then I try to push out the more positive side of Christianity. And I'm really proud of my Christian faith. I'm proud of the fact that I am grateful that in a time like this, I can lift up my voice and I can praise my God wherever I am. I can talk to somebody about the love of Christ wherever I find myself. And that's a blessing to me. So I am really proud of that. So tell me what you are proud of. I'm proud of my family, my husband, my children, my siblings, my mother, and my late dad. I'm proud of every one of them. So what are you proud of? Let me know. Let me know what makes you, because you need to be self-aware. You need to know who are you, all right? You need to know what do I express? What kind of person do I want to be? Because that will help you to now know how to control your emotions. Now let's look at number 4 question Now let's look at number 4 question. This is going to be based on the second competency, that is the self-regulation. The self-regulation. Now, under the self-regulation competency, the number 4 question there is, what can you do about how you feel? Maybe you are angry, maybe you are sad, maybe you are happy. What can you do about it? Do you do anything to increase it, or do you just get yourself out of it? Do you do anything to improve on the feeling? What can you do about how you are feeling? Because that is how you regulate your feelings. That is how you control your feeling. That is how you manage your feelings. Many people have feelings, but they don't know how to manage them. Many people have feelings, but they don't know how to control them. You allow your emotions to get way out, all right? So you're feeling sad, you lock yourself up in the room and you stay there. I read a story yesterday about a particular lady who died in New York. And this lady, she made a provision for her house rent to be deducted from her salary, for the money in her account. So for 2 years, before that, she had an asthmatic attack in her house. Her television was on, and then she just collapsed and died in her apartment. And because she was not relating with anyone, okay, that's why we're talking about emotional intelligence here. Because she was not relating with anyone, she did not have any friend, no family, she was not reaching out to anybody, nobody was equally reaching out to her. She died alone in that apartment. And because the landlord had his money deducted from the girl's account once the rent was due, it was an automatic decision. So once the time came, the money was deducted. After 2 years, there was no other money in the account, and the landlord had to call the police to come to evict her from the house, since she was not responding to his letters to pay up her house rent. It was when the police came and they broke the house, down the door when nobody was responding and the television was still on, that they discovered that this girl had died in her apartment for 2 whole years. If you need the link to that story, I'm going to share it with you so that it's not a fabricated story. The story I just read online. And it's a terrible thing that can happen to anybody. For 2 whole years, her corpse was smelling. and the whole compound were perceiving it, but they didn't know it was coming from that particular apartment because there was a particular spot where people would dump refuse beside that particular apartment. So they assumed it was refuse that was being dumped that was smelling, and this girl died and stayed in her room for 2 years with the television on. Every program was on her dead body for 2 whole years. That is why you have to know how to relate to people. Because when you know how to relate to people, it will help you in life. See, we were not created to live in isolation. Every one of us was created for community. We were created to have relationships with people. You cannot stay alone. Some of you say, oh, don't leave me like that. I like to be alone. I like to just be alone. But listen to me, you really cannot survive alone. We all need each other to survive. There must be somebody around you, somebody in your life that you will need to survive. So please reach out to people and relate, because when you're able to control this emotion, you will know how to relate with others. Now, the number 5 question that you have to ask yourself, number 5 emotionally intelligent question you have to ask yourself is this: how do you deal with a bad day? How do you deal with a bad day? Believe you me, each and every one of us have bad days from time to time. And when you have a bad day, what do you do about it? Do you go ahead and begin to blame everyone? Do you go ahead and begin to hate those who love you? Do you go ahead and begin to penalize those who are your support system? You make them feel bad for even being your support system. What do you do when you have a bad day? Do you transfer your aggression to your children or to your husband or to your wife? What do you do when you have a bad day? Because we're talking about ability to control your emotions here. We're talking about ability to control your emotions, control how you feel, self-regulation. That is the second competency we are talking about. So how do you deal with a bad day? Do you sing praises and brush it over? Or do you evaluate, analyze, and figure out what went wrong today and how can I better it tomorrow? Or do you just dwell on it and you begin to think of how the whole world is hating you, how everybody is not liking you, how people are looking down on you? Is that what you do? So you have to ask yourself, how do I handle a bad day? Now, number 6 question, emotional intelligence question that you have to ask yourself that will guide you is: how does your mind affect what you want to do? How does your mind affect what you want to do? When you want to do a particular thing, do you get motivated? Do you see it? Do you see yourself doing it? Or do you always procrastinate? Say, oh, I cannot do this thing. Oh, it's too hard for me. It's too difficult. What do you do at such moments? So remember, we're talking about everything we're talking about here is on emotional intelligence. And we're talking about how can you allow emotional intelligence to guide you, to help you control what you are feeling part-time. So what do you do in such a situation? Do you allow your emotions to tell you, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get it done? That's how we step into the number 3 competency of emotional intelligence. That's motivation. Am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Am I going to push myself hard enough to get the result that I want? Or am I going to just relax about it and be passive about it and be lackadaisical about it? What am I going to do about it? Now, number 7 question you have to ask yourself under the competency of motivation is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Alright, so I just watched a story on Facebook about a guy and a lady. They were supposed to have a particular date, and on the first date they were having together, the guy asked her, what's your, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And the lady got offended and she was like, why are you asking me that kind of question? What if I ask you, what is your retirement plan? How would you feel about it? Now, not to cite any particular person, but honestly, I really don't see anything wrong in asking somebody, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? It's a question that can motivate you. It's a question that can help you think about your life, about your future, about where you want to see yourself. So when I ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? This is a question you can ask yourself. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? What level of impact do I see myself making in the next 5 years? What level in my career do I see myself getting to in the next 5 years? This is a motivation question, a question that can motivate you to do what you have to do, a question that can push you up, that can propel you from within yourself so that you can become all that God wants you to be. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And if you already have an answer, give me that answer in the comment section. I know some of you are very, very smart and you already have this answer. So do give me that answer in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. All right. So number 8 question, number 8 emotional intelligence question that you have to ask yourself that will guide you is: are there times you can do it all on your own, or are there times that you need someone to help you? Are there times that you know, I can handle this on my own? And are there times you say, I really need to get someone to help me because I want to get this done? Remember, this is all still under the competency of motivation. And under motivation, I want you to know that it is necessary, very necessary, for you to motivate yourself, for you to push yourself, for you to, because if you don't pull that the band on your catapult, you will never be able to push that stone forward. If you don't pull your bow, you will never be able to eject that arrow and make that arrow to hit target. Many people throw their arrows, but their arrows don't hit target because they're not able to stretch it. All right, so you have to stretch yourself, and most times the stretching might look backward, but then you are motivating yourself to reach target. And like everyone who wants to motivate yourself, you might look like that catapult that's been pulled backward, but when you are pulled backward, you are pulled backward so that you can aim faster, you can aim better, you can reach and hit target. So ask yourself, at that times you can do this all by yourself, at that times you need people. There are certain things you need to do for yourself, and there are certain things you equally need people to come and help you to do. So get motivated, push yourself. All right, if you can't do it alone, get someone that can help you. If you have set a goal for yourself, maybe a weight loss goal, maybe an academic goal, maybe a career goal, get people around you that can help you for accountability. That way you are able to achieve the results that you have set your heart to achieve. Number 9 emotional intelligence question that you can ask yourself that will guide you is: what do friends think of you? What do friends think of you? And when they want to make a decision, when your friends want to make a decision, what they think of you, what they think you will tell them. Would they see you telling them, yes, go do it, get it done? Or would they see you saying, leave it all, this business is hard, oh, I heard that this thing is very hard to do? What would they think of you? Now, anybody who knows me very well knows that if you have a dream, you have an idea, I will push you as much as I can so that you can achieve it, because I want to see you win. I want to see you at the top. I want to see you succeed, and that is really what I love to do. So please, I want to ask you, when your friends think about you and they're about to take a decision, what comes to their mind? Do they see somebody who will say, oh, I don't know, anything you want to do, just go ahead and do it? Or do they say, push, 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 get it done, push it, achieve it? All right, so that is it. What do your friends think about you when they think of making a decision? Now let's talk about number 10 question. Now we'll be stepping into the other competency of emotional intelligence, that is empathy. Empathy. Remember I said that empathy is about you seeing things from another person's perspective, you being able to feel what other people are feeling, you tuning into other people's feelings. So now when we talk about empathy, I want to ask the number 10 question: how good are you at asking for help or receiving help? How good are you at asking for help or receiving help? There are people, lots and lots of people need help in certain areas, but it takes someone who is emotionally intelligent, who can tune into people's feelings, for you to know what somebody needs from you. All right, for you to know how somebody is feeling part time. So you need to look around your family, look around the people that work for you, look around the people that work with you, look around the people that care for you, and the people who are just hanging around you, and figure out in what ways can you really help them. All right, they may not be very good at verbally asking for help, but maybe through their body language, maybe through the way they're narrating the story of their life, the stories they're telling you, the hardship they're experiencing. Maybe it could be a house rent, it could be a school fees, it could be something, a clothes to wear, it could be food to eat. But whatever it is, you have to tune into people's feelings, and that way you'll be able to understand what they are feeling and possibly know if they need help from you. And if they need help from you, go ahead and give that help, because that shows that you are emotionally intelligent. All right, number 11 question on how you can be emotionally intelligent. Number 11 emotional intelligence question that can guide you is, what can you do for someone who is passing through a difficult time? What can you do for someone who is passing through a difficult time? Believe you me, we all get to pass through difficult times at different times. So when somebody is passing through a difficult time, what can you do to help? Many of us just step into the problem and want to fix everything for them. Many of us just pump them with advices, pump them with answers, and most times what the person that is coming to you needs is not an answer. What the person needs is just a listening ear. There are times people come to you and honestly they don't need solutions, they don't need all your answers, they don't need your intelligence. What they need is somebody who can truly listen to them and know what they are feeling and understand what they are feeling at that particular time. So when people come to you, how do you help them when they are passing through a difficult time? Some of them are passing through difficult times and they may not really be able to talk to you, but through their body language, through the way they talk, the way they feel, the stories they tell, the person they are confiding in, or even a look on their face, you'll be able to know if this person really needs some form of attention, some help from you, financial help, a word of advice, counsel, company. All right, because people need different things when they're passing through difficult times. All right, so still on the competency of empathy, we want to look at the number 12 question, the 12th emotional intelligence question that can guide you. Number 12 is, how do you feel when someone else is always getting the spotlight and attention? How do you feel when somebody else is always getting the spotlight and the attention? Do you feel sad? Do you feel left behind? Do you feel jealous? Do you feel envy? What do you feel when somebody else is getting the spotlight? Many of us who are usually in the spotlight, there a time comes when we may not be on the spotlight, but another person is on the spotlight. Please, when another person is on the spotlight, clap for that person. Celebrate with that person. You don't always have to be the one on the spotlight. I know we all love the spotlights. Most of us want to be there when the lights are on and shining and the rest of that. But a time comes when you may not be the one on the spotlight. So what do? When your neighbor, when your friend, when your relation is on the spotlight, clap for them, celebrate with them, cheer them up, shout on their behalf. All right? Talk about them, share their good news, and celebrate them, because a time will come when you too will be on the spotlight. And when you're on the spotlight, your friend will do the same for you. And even if that friend does not do the same for you, others will do it for you, because in this life, it is turn by turn. Everybody is not on the top forever. Everybody will not be on the stage forever. There is a time for everybody. And when your own time comes, celebrate it. Dance about it. When another person's time comes, celebrate it equally. Clap for the person. Cheer the person up. Because it's all about turn by turn. Alright? Don't envy the person. Don't begin to look down on the person. Don't begin to ridicule the person. Don't begin to gossip with the person, or even hire people that will help you to hate the person. You know, people are really funny in this life. When someone wants to hate you, they don't hate you alone. They just go and begin to collaborate with other haters, and they form an association of haters to just hate you. But that is really not necessary. In empathy, you're able to tune into the other person's feelings and know what they are feeling per time, and equally that will help you to build good and effective relationship with that person. Capish? Alright, so I hope you got that right, and that would help you greatly. Now, let's talk about the fifth competency, the social skills. Remember, we're talking about social skills, that when you are self-aware, and when you are able to regulate yourself, and you are able to motivate yourself, you have empathy for others. At the end of the day, you will have very good social skills. Now, let's talk about social skills. The emotional intelligence questions that you have to ask that can guide you under the competency of social skills. All right, so the number 13th emotional intelligence question that can guide you is this: what values and attitudes do you like in people who can inspire you? What values and attitudes do you like in people? When you relate to people, what do you want to see? Do you want to see honesty? Do you want to see integrity? Do you want to see trustworthiness? Do you want to see firm belief in God? Do you want to see confidence? What kind of values and attitudes do you want to see in others? And the question is, you want to see it in others. Do you also have it? Because it's not enough to want people to be at their best, want people to have all the right values and right attitudes. You too, do you have it? Do you really have that attitude? So these are the things that you have to check for yourself. Do you have that value? Do you have that quality attitude? That attitude that can help you to reach your altitude in life? Do you have it? What attitude, what value do you see in people? That's an emotional intelligence question that can guide you. Because when you know what you want to see in people, you also be able to figure out what people want to see in you. Because it's not all about you wanting people to be perfect. You too. What are you doing in regards to working towards perfection? All right. So if you're able to answer that question, then you'll be able to guide you. To guide your decisions. To guide your relationship. To guide the way you relate with other people. Now let's talk about number 14, emotional intelligence question that can guide you. And that number 14 question is this: is there any time you have felt a need to change your behavior towards others? Is there any time you have felt a need to change your behavior towards others? Now, let me tell you a little about myself. I have a choleric temperament, a choleric personality, and like cholerics, we are usually vision-driven. We are always pushing to target. We are the kind of female alphas and the stuff like that, and we want to get results. All right, we always want to get things done. We always want to meet targets. We always want to achieve something per time. And in the course of living out my life, in the course of living out my personality, I have also noticed that there are times I begin to drag people along. So I am trying to meet target, I'm trying to achieve a particular goal, and then I am dragging people along, people who are already exhausted, they're already tired, they don't have the energy to keep pushing. And because if I don't apply emotional intelligence at that moment, I may not know that I am inconveniencing other people. So now, over time, I learned that it's important that I tune into people's feelings, know when they are tired, and allow some of them to be, all right? Even at the time of making these videos, some of the people I'm doing this video with right now, they're already tired, they are exhausted. So that tells me that I have to tune into their feelings, understand that they're really tired, and try to round up with this video. So I'm just giving you like a true life example of what I have to do. So there are many times I have come to the point where I tell myself I have to adjust my behavior because I want to relate well with other people. Like a choleric I am, most times we are always driving towards a target. We are focused leaders, and sometimes the weak ones among us, we are not sensitive enough to let them rest a little, let them relax a little, and then we keep driving towards our target. At the end of the day, we hurt a lot of people. We hurt people's ego, people's emotions, because they feel worn out or even burnt out. So it's wisdom to know how to adjust your behavior, how to adjust your attitude, so that you can be able to relate well with other people. I just shared mine with you. What is yours? Let me know, what is that attitude? Let me know, what is that behavior? Let me know, what is that feeling, that thing you think you need to change, you need to modify, the behavior you need to modify in order to be able to relate with other people. Share it with me in the comment section. I want to read about it. And now finally, number 15, the 15th emotionally intelligent question that you have to ask yourself in order to guide you. Now this is still under the competency of social skills. So how will your closest friends describe you? What would they say about you? Okay, because remember, we're talking about social skills, your ability to effectively relate with people. There are people who cut off from people a lot, they have a lot of enemies, and these things are not necessary. So how do people describe you? Because when people describe you in the way they understand, that will also help you to look inward and see, are there things you need to adjust so that you can have better relationships with people. So how do your friends, your closest relations, your closest associates, your closest neighbors, how would they describe you? If you say you don't know, I'd like you to carry out a survey. Let somebody put it up on your WhatsApp status and say, describe me in one word, okay? Let people describe you, let people around you. There are even anonymous links that you can share, and people will tell you what they really think about you. So go ahead, ask that question. You may be asking me, do I need that? Do people's opinions validate my definition. It really doesn't. But then sometimes it is nice to hear what people have to say about you. Even Jesus came to a point where he said, who do men say that I am? So if Jesus could ask that question, you should equally ask that question. Come to that point when he asks people, what do you think I am? Who do people say that I am? And that would really help you a lot. So these are the 15 emotionally intelligent questions that can guide you. They can guide you in making a decision, or they can guide you in having effective relationships with people. But whichever way it is, try to answer these questions. Go back to this video in case you joined later. Go back to the beginning of the video and watch it and write out these questions and try to ask yourself these questions, because they would help you greatly in life. They will help you to become a better version of yourself. They will help you to even relate well with people. They will help you to build effective relationships that can advance you in life. Believe you me, we are not created to be in isolation. We are created for community. We are created for fellowship. We are created to be able to bond together for networking. All right, so there are things you may not be able to do for yourself that a relationship that you have with someone will be able to do for you. That is why I am sharing this topic with you, because when you understand it, you become very emotionally intelligent and you will have a very high EQ, that is emotional quotient. Remember at the beginning of the video, I talked to you about intellectual quotient, I talked to you about spiritual quotient, I talked to you about emotional quotient, and I talked to you about adversity quotient. In this video, we are focusing on the emotional quotient, and these are the questions you have to ask yourself that will really help you and make you a better person. So these are the few things I decided to share with you today on Checkpoint. I hope you were so blessed. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to have feedback from you. So until we meet again next time, keep making a positive indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so much. Bye.